What initially appeared to be a typical day took a chilling turn when a simple errand led to the uncovering of a terrifying secret. A solitary black trash bag found in a quiet parking lot became central to exposing a tangled web of deception, betrayal, and unimaginable violence within a seemingly normal marriage. On October 29th, 2020, Jack Carter, a truck driver, went on a routine grocery run to the Walmart Supercenter in Hot Springs, Arkansas. What followed would lead to the unraveling of a gruesome murder investigation. After finishing his shopping and walking through the parking lot to his 2018 white Ford F-150, Carter found a heavy-duty black contractor trash bag resting in the bed of his truck. Assuming it was yet another instance of illegal dumping, a common issue in the area, he decided to inspect its contents to ensure nothing hazardous was inside. Upon opening it, he was met with a shocking sight: a severed human head wrapped in blood-soaked clothing and torn fabric, likely from a floral patterned nightgown. Horrified, Carter immediately called 911. Hot Springs Police Department officers Michael Rodriguez and Sarah Thompson arrived at the scene within 4 minutes. Given that Halloween was approaching, they initially suspected it might be an elaborate prank. However, after examining the contents, Officer Thompson, a seasoned 12-year veteran, quickly secured the area and contacted the Criminal Investigation Division. Detective James Morrison, the lead investigator on the case, arrived with a forensic team. They documented the scene and collected the bag and its contents as evidence. Security footage from Walmart's parking lot cameras showed a dark-colored SUV entering the lot early that morning. Although the license plate wasn't visible, the driver, wearing a dark hoodie and baseball cap, was seen placing the bag in Carter's truck before leaving the area hastily. The Arkansas State Crime Laboratory in Little Rock began processing the evidence right away. Through dental records and DNA testing, they identified the remains as those of 63-year-old Celeste Jackson, née Miller, a retired elementary school teacher from Deerfield, Missouri, about 300 miles away. The investigation revealed that earlier that morning, Celeste's colleagues at Blue Cross Insurance in Deerfield had reported her missing when she didn't show up for her part-time role as a health insurance adjuster. The Deerfield Police Department, under Detective Lisa Martinez, conducted a welfare check at Celeste's home. Upon arrival, they found the house locked and seemingly undisturbed. However, after gaining entry with help from emergency services, they made a horrifying discovery in the master bathroom: Celeste Jackson's dismembered body, partially concealed by a shower curtain. Blood spatter analysis suggested the initial attack took place in the kitchen, with drag marks leading to the bathroom. The house showed signs of a meticulous cleaning effort, hinting that the killer tried to erase any trace of evidence. Luminol testing revealed blood traces all over the home. By late afternoon on October 29th, law enforcement agencies from both Missouri and Arkansas had formed a joint task force to investigate what had become a clear case of premeditated murder. The crucial discovery in Hot Springs, where the killer had attempted to dispose of evidence across state lines, ultimately led to their downfall as federal authorities joined the investigation, bringing additional resources and jurisdiction. Marcus Jackson, 65, had a reputation as a dependable handyman with his business, Jackson's Home Repair. He was well regarded in the local community for his reliability and fair pricing. He was frequently seen attending church services and community events with Celeste. Together, they raised 6 children: Michael, 44, twins Sarah and Samuel, 42, Rachel, 40, Elizabeth, 39, and Damon, 38. Their family gatherings, especially during holidays, were well known for drawing together numerous relatives and friends. However, beneath this outwardly perfect facade, troubling signs had begun to surface. Linda Peterson, Celeste's closest friend of 30 years and a fellow retired teacher, later revealed troubling conversations she had had with Celeste in the weeks leading up to her death. Celeste confided in Peterson that Marcus had been acting oddly since the summer of 2020. Celeste mentioned Marcus taking strange calls at odd hours of the night, which he defended by saying they were emergency repair calls. Even though Peterson never saw him leave for any jobs, Peterson also noted that Celeste had caught Marcus spending long hours on his laptop, hastily closing it whenever Celeste walked in. Financial records painted a grim picture of the Jacksons' financial situation. Despite appearing financially stable, Marcus had secretly accumulated over $127,000 in debt due to failed business ventures and unauthorized loans. Bank statements showed regular transfers to an Oklahoma account, sparking suspicions of possible infidelity. Investigators also discovered that Marcus had taken out a second mortgage on their home without Celeste's knowledge, using forged signatures. He had also been selling off valuable family heirlooms, including Celeste's grandmother's antique jewelry collection, which she believed was safely stored in their safety deposit box. Interviews with the Jackson children revealed even more troubling insights into the deteriorating marriage. Elizabeth Jackson recalled a night when she found her father in the garage, surrounded by papers and visibly distressed. When she asked if everything was okay, he snapped at her for the first time in her life. The following day, he acted as though nothing had happened. Damon, the youngest son, who lived on the family property in a trailer due to his bipolar disorder, provided valuable testimony about changes in his father's behavior. Damon observed Marcus frequently visiting a storage facility in a nearby town, returning visibly agitated and refusing to discuss these trips with anyone. When questioned by the police after Celeste's body was discovered, Marcus claimed he had been meeting a potential client in Springfield, about 50 miles away. However, cell phone records later disproved his alibi, showing his phone near the family home at the time of Celeste's death. During initial interviews, detectives observed Marcus's erratic behavior, alternating between calmness and sudden emotional outbursts. Detective Morrison noted that Marcus seemed more concerned about his phone being taken during questioning than about his wife's brutal murder. In my 20 years of investigating homicides, Morrison later testified, I've never seen someone so focused on their phone while their spouse lay dead. This behavior, combined with mounting evidence of financial deception, quickly elevated Marcus from being a person of interest to the prime suspect in Celeste's murder. In the final 2 weeks of Celeste's life, a series of unsettling events marked a sharp change in the household atmosphere. Investigators uncovered detailed diary entries Celeste had made, documenting her growing unease about Marcus's increasingly erratic behavior. She had become aware of the dangerous situation surrounding her. On October 15, 2020, Marcus installed additional deadbolts on all the exterior doors without consulting Celeste. When she asked about it, he claimed he had heard about recent break-ins in nearby neighborhoods. Local police records later showed no such incidents had occurred. Marcus also began drawing the curtains at dusk and checking the windows repeatedly, claiming he had spotted suspicious vehicles parked near their house. Security footage from Home Depot revealed that Marcus made several unusual purchases during this time. On October 18th, he bought high-end hunting knives, industrial trash bags, duct tape, cleaning supplies, and a new shower curtain. Celeste's concerns deepened when she discovered items Marcus had hidden behind old paint cans in the garage. When she confronted him, he dismissed her worries, claiming he was preparing for a camping trip with their son Damon, a trip Damon later told investigators he knew nothing about. During this time, Linda Peterson, Celeste's longtime confidant, received increasingly anxious phone calls from her friend. Celeste confided in Peterson that Marcus had been sleeping in the garage, saying he needed to protect valuable tools. However, when Peterson checked during the day, she found no new equipment. The investigation revealed that Marcus had been carefully hiding his secret life. While maintaining the appearance of a successful handyman, he had accumulated substantial debt through failed attempts to expand his business. Bank records showed he had taken out large loans from various lenders using falsified business documents. Jackson's Home Repair, his company, had been losing clients over the past year due to incomplete work and customer complaints. More troubling was the revelation of Marcus's online relationship with Sarah Conrad, a 45-year-old real estate agent from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Digital forensics revealed over 2,000 messages exchanged between the two over the past 8 months, during which Marcus had sent Sarah $47,000 from the couple's retirement savings. He had promised to leave Celeste and start a new life with Sarah, though further investigation revealed he had made similar promises and sent money to at least 2 other women. Celeste had become increasingly aware of these financial irregularities, which she had documented in notes found in her desk at work. She had begun collecting bank statements and questioning strange withdrawals. A colleague at Blue Cross Insurance recalled Celeste asking about changing the beneficiary on her life insurance policy just days before her death. Security footage from several local businesses showed Marcus following Celeste on multiple occasions, parking across from her workplace and observing her interactions with colleagues. Cell phone records revealed that he had secretly installed a GPS tracking app on her phone during what he claimed was a routine software update. Perhaps the most chilling discovery was Marcus's internet search history in the weeks leading up to the murder, which included queries about undetectable poisons, how to make a death appear accidental, and states with no extradition treaties. He had also visited numerous websites on body disposal methods and cleaning blood from surfaces. In her final diary entry, dated October 27th, just one day before her death, Celeste expressed her growing fear, writing, "Something is terribly wrong with Marcus. The man I've known for 45 years seems to have vanished. There's a stranger in my house watching my every move. Tomorrow, I'm going to the bank to check our accounts. I pray I'm wrong about all of this." Through extensive forensic analysis, witness statements, and Marcus Jackson's eventual confession, investigators pieced together the horrifying events that led to Celeste's murder. That evening, Celeste had been using Marcus's phone to look up a recipe while hers was charging, a decision that would prove fatal. A notification popped up from someone named Sarah, detailing recent money transfers and plans for a future together. Bank notifications revealed transfers ranging from $2,000 to $5,000, draining the couple's retirement savings. When Celeste opened the message thread, she found hundreds of intimate exchanges between Marcus and Sarah that spanned months. The Jacksons' next-door neighbor, Robert Wilson, reported hearing loud voices around 7:45 p.m., describing a woman shouting about money and betrayal. This was unusual, as the Jacksons were typically quiet. Another neighbor, Mary Thompson, recalled seeing lights on in the Jackson kitchen and observing two figures in what seemed to be an intense argument. According to Marcus's later confession, when Celeste confronted him with evidence of his infidelity and financial lies, he initially tried to downplay the situation. But when she threatened to report his financial fraud to the police and consult a divorce lawyer, Marcus's carefully constructed facade collapsed. In a fit of rage, he struck her with a cast iron skillet that had been left on the stove. Forensic analysis indicated that Celeste fell backward, hitting her head on the kitchen counter before collapsing on the floor. Rather than seek medical help, Marcus chose to act in a way that would turn a tragic accident into a premeditated horror. Believing Celeste was dead and fearing exposure for his financial crimes, he began to plan how to dispose of her body. Security footage from a nearby gas station showed Marcus purchasing additional garbage bags, cleaning supplies, and a new pair of work gloves at 8:30 p.m. He returned home and spent several hours erasing evidence and cleaning the crime scene. Luminol testing later revealed significant blood residue throughout the kitchen. Despite his thorough cleaning efforts, the medical examiner's report revealed a chilling detail. Trace evidence suggested Celeste had still been alive, though unconscious when Marcus began dismembering her body. He dragged her to the bathroom, placed her in the bathtub, and began cutting her apart using the hunting knives he had bought days earlier. The medical examiner concluded that Celeste likely died from blood loss during the dismemberment, not from the initial head injury. Throughout the night, Marcus made several trips to various locations to dispose of body parts and evidence. Security cameras at different locations captured his dark SUV traveling through the area between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. He wrapped Celeste's head in her favorite floral nightgown. Whether as an act of cruelty or misguided sentimentality remains unclear. Early in the morning of October 29th, Marcus began a 300-mile drive to Hot Springs, Arkansas. Traffic cameras tracked his journey south, though he carefully avoided major highways. He selected the Walmart parking lot for its size and the likelihood that any suspicious package would quickly be discovered and removed. What Marcus failed to account for was Celeste's meticulous nature. She had arranged to meet her colleague Barbara Stevens for breakfast before work to discuss changes to her life insurance policy. When Celeste didn't show up at the cafe and didn't answer her phone, Stevens became worried. By 9 a.m., Celeste's colleagues at Blue Cross Insurance had reported her missing. Marcus returned home to find police cars in his driveway. Detective Martinez and her team had already begun their investigation, responding to concerns from Celeste's colleagues. Marcus's arrival was captured on police body cameras, where he tried to appear surprised and concerned but clearly struggled to maintain his composure. Within hours, evidence would begin to surface that would unravel his hastily constructed alibi and expose the full extent of his actions. As investigators dug deeper into Marcus's life, a disturbing pattern of premeditation emerged. A black notebook found in Marcus's desk drawer contained detailed plans for what he initially intended to be the perfect murder. Written in his meticulous handwriting, the notebook outlined several ways to kill Celeste, with one plan standing out: a scheme to murder her and frame their youngest son, Damon. The notebook detailed how Damon's documented mental health history could be exploited. Medical records revealed that Damon had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder in his early 20s and had experienced several psychotic episodes requiring hospitalization. Marcus had collected newspaper clippings about crimes committed by individuals during mental health crises, seemingly studying how to make Celeste's death appear as a result of one of these episodes. Detective Morrison's team discovered that Marcus had been stockpiling Damon's old medication bottles, which he planned to plant at the crime scene. He had even written practice suicide notes to be left in Damon's name, confessing to killing Celeste during a psychotic break. The level of detail in these preparations sent chills through even the most experienced investigators. What Marcus hadn't anticipated was Damon's unexpected departure on the morning of October 28th, when he left for a scheduled stay at a mental health center in Kansas City. Marcus had either forgotten or overlooked this fact in his planning. This absence forced him to abandon his original plan and improvise, resulting in the rushed and messy execution of the crime. During interrogation, Marcus initially maintained his innocence, but the evidence against him was overwhelming. Security footage from Walmart clearly showed him with his dark-colored SUV. A blue Honda CR-V was captured on surveillance placing the bag containing Celeste's head into Jack Carter's truck. Forensic analysis of Marcus's vehicle revealed traces of Celeste's blood in the trunk, despite his efforts to clean it. A receipt for cleaning supplies found in his wallet matched those used in the crime, purchased just days before the murder. When confronted with this evidence, Marcus attempted to portray himself as the victim. In a recorded interview, he claimed Celeste was controlling, accusing her of monitoring every penny he spent and threatening to expose his business troubles. He said he feared her. However, interviews with family members, friends, and business associates painted a very different picture of Celeste. A supportive, patient wife who had stood by Marcus through multiple financial setbacks. The investigation uncovered Marcus's elaborate digital footprint. His laptop contained folders with downloaded articles about famous unsolved murders and body disposal techniques. His search history included queries about dissolving bodies in acid, states with no extradition treaties, and cleaning blood from surfaces. Even more disturbing were the multiple dating profiles Marcus had created, each one using slightly altered versions of his identity, but all seeking relationships with wealthy women. Financial records revealed the extent of Marcus's deception. Beyond his affair with Sarah Conrad in Tulsa, he had been maintaining relationships with at least 3 other women across various states. Bank statements showed he had transferred over $157,000 to these women, money obtained through fraudulent loans and stolen from his children's inheritance accounts. The investigation took a major turn when Sarah Conrad, after learning about Celeste's murder, cooperated with the police. She provided hundreds of messages exchanged between them, including ones where Marcus explicitly discussed his desire for Celeste to disappear. Sarah revealed that Marcus had promised to join her in Tulsa with a significant amount of money, planning to start a new life together once he was free from his marriage. Under intense questioning by Detective Martinez, Marcus's carefully crafted facade finally collapsed. His confession, recorded over a 6-hour interview, revealed not only the details of the murder, but also the years of planning that had led to it. He admitted that his marriage had been dead for years, and that he viewed Celeste as an obstacle to his happiness, planning her murder for months. The most chilling part of the case came when investigators discovered that Marcus had taken out an additional life insurance policy on Celeste just 3 months before her murder, naming himself as the sole beneficiary. This final piece of evidence transformed the crime from one of passion to a premeditated murder, sealing Marcus's fate. The trial of Marcus Jackson began on March 15, 2021, at the Missouri State Courthouse, drawing national media attention and shedding light on the darker side of seemingly perfect marriages. Over 3 weeks, prosecutors carefully presented evidence that revealed the calculated nature of Marcus's crimes and the web of lies he had constructed over the years. District Attorney Rebecca Morgan opened the prosecution's case with a powerful statement. This is not a story of a marriage gone wrong. This is the story of a predator who spent years orchestrating his wife's murder while maintaining the facade of a loving husband. The prosecution's case was based on overwhelming physical evidence, digital records, and testimony from dozens of witnesses who exposed Marcus's elaborate deceptions. Key testimony came from Sarah Conrad, who flew in from Tulsa to describe her relationship with Marcus. She detailed how he systematically manipulated her, promising a future together while stealing from his family's savings to fund their relationship. Similar testimony from 2 other women revealed identical patterns of manipulation and financial exploitation, showing Marcus's calculated approach to deception. The defense, led by attorney David Palmer, tried to portray Marcus as a man driven to desperation by financial pressures and an unhappy marriage. They argued that Celeste's death was the result of a heated argument that spiraled out of control. However, this defense fell apart under the weight of evidence showing months of premeditation, including the notebook that detailed plans to frame Damon. The most damaging testimony came from the Jackson children themselves. Elizabeth Jackson's emotional testimony described finding her father's hidden storage unit, which contained printouts of crime scene cleaning techniques and body disposal methods dated months before the murder. Michael Jackson revealed discovering documents showing that Marcus had been stealing from his children's inheritance accounts. Rachel Jackson testified about witnessing her father's increasingly erratic behavior in the weeks before the murder. The jury deliberated for just 4 hours before returning with a guilty verdict on all counts: first-degree murder, tampering with evidence, fraud, and abuse of a corpse. Judge William Hawthorne sentenced Marcus to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, stating, "In my 30 years on the bench, I have rarely seen a crime that combines such calculated cruelty with such profound betrayal of family trust." After the trial, the Jackson family faced the difficult task of rebuilding their lives. The 6 Jackson children established the Celeste Jackson Foundation, aimed at raising awareness about financial abuse in marriages and supporting victims of domestic violence. The foundation's first initiative focused on creating educational programs to help people recognize the warning signs of financial exploitation within relationships.